Today, I'm replacing my main laptop with the new MacBook Neo. For the past few months, I've been using the M4 MacBook Air as my everyday laptop. This is the laptop I've been using for designing thumbnails, editing videos, working in Photoshop, using ChatGPT, working with browser-based tasks like generating images, and a whole lot more, answering emails and others. But today, I'm putting that aside and I'm going to use the MacBook Neo for a full day to see if it can handle my daily work. The version I'm using today is the Indigo color with 512 gigabytes with a Touch ID. This model costs around $699. So the question is simple. Can the MacBook Neo replace my M4 MacBook Air for a full day? Let's find out. So I'm starting this full day test from a cafe. Right now, the MacBook Neo battery is at 32%. So the first thing I'm going to do is plugging it in and letting it charge whilst I set everything up. I'm going to be here for a while, so this is a good time to install the app I normally need for my normal workflow. The first thing I'm installing is Adobe Creative Cloud because I need Illustrator and Photoshop. Those are apps I use almost every day, especially for client work, thumbnails, design projects, and general creative work. Whilst everything is installing, the first thing that actually surprises me is that the keyboard feels solid and the trackpad feels much better than I expected. I brought my Logitech MX Master Mount 3S mouse with me, but right now, I'm not even feeling like I need to use it. The trackpad has this really nice click feedback. It feels different from my M4 MacBook Air. I'm not saying it's better than the M4 MacBook Air, but when I click on it, it has this kind of springy, haptic feeling that is actually satisfying for me. So that is the first thing I'm noticing. The keyboard feels good, the trackpad feels good, and for basic navigation, this laptop is already giving me a better first impression than I expected. I also like the fact that this version has Touch ID. Because this is the 512 gigabyte model, it comes with Touch ID, and that makes the experience feel much easier. When I'm logging in, installing apps, or doing anything that needs authentication, I don't have to keep typing my password every time. I can just use Touch ID, and that makes the laptop feel more complete. Quick side note, whilst I'm working here, I'm using the Soundpeats Cove Pro over-ear headphones. Soundpeats sends this over, and for a budget-friendly pair of headsets, you are getting adaptive noise cancellation, long battery life, high-res audio, and clear calls, which makes them useful for working in places like this. I'll leave links in the description if you want to check them out. I have Illustrator installed and I'm opening it for the first time on this laptop. This is where the test starts to get more serious because the file I'm opening on this is not a simple document. This is a heavier client project, and this is the kind of work that normally starts to expose the limits of a laptop. At first, Illustrator opens fine. It doesn't feel broken or unusable. But as I start moving around the project, zooming in, zooming out, and panning across the design, I can feel that the GPU performance is not as strong as what I've been used to on my M4 MacBook Air. There is a bit of lag. It is not completely unusable, but it is definitely noticeable. And to be fair, this is a heavy file. Even on my M4 MacBook Air, this kind of project can sometimes push the laptop a little bit. But on the MacBook Neo, I can feel the difference more clearly. Another thing I'm noticing is the screen size. Because I'm working here at a cafe, I'm only using the laptop screen, and the 13-inch display starts to feel a little small for productivity. If I'm just browsing, writing, watching videos, or using basic apps, the screen is fine. But once I'm inside Illustrator trying to move around a large project, open panels, check details, and work properly, I start missing my external monitor setup. So for someone who mostly works directly from the laptop screen, this is something to think about. The screen is usable, but for the way I work, it feels limiting. I'm also noticing reflections. Because the screen is glossy, it catches a lot of reflections, especially in a bright environment like this. I can still see what I'm doing, but reflections are definitely there. The brightness is okay. I'm not struggling to see the screen, but I do wish it was a little brighter for outdoor or cafe use. One of the things that I'm struggling with is that the screen is a little bit too small for me to work on out here. So I'm going to get to the office and I'm going to connect it to my monitor, external monitor, using my docking station. And I'm going to continue my work so that by the close of the day, I can have a fair idea whether it's really able to work. Because at this point, I think the bottleneck right now is the screen size. It is too small for me to open a lot of tabs and put one here and put one here. Now I'm at the office. The first thing I need to do is connect the MacBook Neo to my monitor setup. For my normal workflow, I use 2 external monitors, but with this laptop, I need a docking station to make that work properly. So I'm using my Wavelength DisplayLink docking station. If you've watched some of my other videos, you've probably seen me talk about this dock before. But before I can use it properly with the MacBook Neo, I need to install the DisplayLink software. And this is one of the annoying parts of switching to a new laptop. You don't just open it and instantly continue working the way you normally do. You have to install apps, install your drivers, set up your mouse, set up your keyboard, connect your docks, and make sure everything works the way you need it to. So right now, I'm installing DisplayLink, and I also need to install Logitech Options Plus so my mouse and keyboard can work properly. Another thing I'm noticing here is the port situation. The MacBook Neo has only one high-speed data port. So if I use that port for my docking station, the other port is what I have left for something like an external SSD. For basic users, that may not matter. But if your setup depends on external monitors, external drives, docks, and other accessories, this is something you need to think about. For creators, ports can become a limitation very quickly. Now I'm continuing Illustrator work with the MacBook Neo connected to my external monitor setup. And honestly, using a bigger monitor definitely makes the experience better. The screen size is no longer the main issue, and the workflow feels closer to what I'm used to. But the GPU limitation is still there. And as I move around the Illustrator project, I can still see some shuttering. Sometimes when I pan across the file, it feels like the screen is tearing or glittering a little bit. So if you are somebody who does more graphic intensive work, I wouldn't recommend the MacBook Neo. Please save up a little bit and buy at least the M4 MacBook Air or a Pro. After running the benchmark, it was clear that the M4, my main laptop, the M4 MacBook Air, was the better choice. But as I started working on it, even as I'm scrolling, you can see that the screen is tearing. I don't know whether you can see it well. Like this, anytime, like let's say I'm moving around, like I'm working on a pitch deck for a client, and as I'm like moving, like I'm just panning around, I can feel like the screen is tearing. I want to switch back to my M4 MacBook Air, but I need to finish this test so that at least, I don't know whether you can see this white, like anytime I switch, you can see like this white thing that pops up on a page, like this glitch. You get it? So these are all GPU related issues. I want to see how the laptop handles video editing. Before I move into Premiere Pro, I want to test one small thing that matters to me, working in the dark. I often work at night with lights off or with very low light, And this is where I noticed one clear downside. The MacBook Neo does not have a backlit keyboard. My monitor screen gives off some light, so I can still see the keyboard a little bit. And because I type a lot, I mostly know where the keys are. But if the room is really dark, this can definitely become a problem. This is one of those compromises that may not sound like a big deal until you actually need it. And honestly, if this keyboard had backlighting, it'll feel much more complete. Now I'm opening Premiere Pro. Based on what I'm seeing in Illustrator, I'm not expecting this to be super smooth, but I still want to test it because video editing is a big part of my workflow. I already have the latest version of Premiere Pro installed, and I'm bringing in some 4K footage that I shot on my Sony ZV-E10 Mark II. Because this is the first time I'm launching Premiere Pro on this laptop, it takes a moment to set everything up. But once the footage is inside the timeline, I start playing it back to see how it performs. And this is where the MacBook Neo actually surprises me. The 4K playback is smoother than I expected. Hi, I'm Albert from File Ready Studio. There are a few moments where I can see some lag, but overall, this is not struggling as much as I thought it would. I've tested some Windows laptops before where even playing back 4K footage at full resolution became a problem. But here, the MacBook Neo is actually holding up pretty well. Now, I'm not saying this feels like a MacBook Pro. It doesn't. And I'm also not saying it feels like my M4 MacBook Air. But for a simple 4K editing, basic cuts, and light color correction, it is more usable than I expected. Right now, I'm editing a short video for a website I'm building, and for this kind of project, the laptop is handling it fine. The footage plays back smoothly most of the time. I'm exporting the video to see how long it takes. For one short 4K export, it finishes surprisingly quickly. Another clip that is around 30 seconds gave me an export time close to 30 seconds, which is honestly not bad for a laptop at this price. Now, there are no heavy effects, no complicated animations, and no crazy timeline here. So I wouldn't use this as a full professional editing benchmark. But for basic editing, social media clips, simple talking head videos, website videos, and live projects, this is definitely usable. And that's probably the biggest surprise of the day. I expected video editing to be the bigger problem, but for the kind of simple 4K footage I'm testing here, the MacBook Neo is doing better than I thought. Illustrator exposes the weakness of this laptop much faster than Premiere Pro does. So after spending a full day with the MacBook Neo, I have to say my experience was mixed. Some parts were actually better than I expected. But there were moments where I was reminded that this is still a budget laptop. For most of the day, I was doing the kind of work I normally do. I had multiple tabs open. I was using AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, and OpenAI to generate images. And honestly, the MacBook Neo was very smooth with that. I didn't really feel like I was missing much. But once I started pushing it with creative apps, that was when I started to feel the difference. But when I think about who this laptop is meant for, it starts to make sense. This is not for someone who is doing heavy creative work every day. But if your work is mostly browser-based, schoolwork, writing, emails, AI tools, light editing, content planning, and general productivity, then the MacBook Neo can actually handle more than I expected. So, is it going to replace my M4 MacBook Air? For my full creative workflow, not completely. But for everyday work and lighter creative tasks, it came a lot closer than I thought it would. So for now, I will let you decide based on what you've seen in this video. Will this be enough for your own workflow? Or would you still spend more for a proper MacBook? If this video was helpful to you, please do me a favor by subscribing to this channel. And if you are interested in checking out the MacBook Neo, I'll leave links in the description. Those are affiliate links, so if you use those links, I'll earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye for now.